All right. Um, Welcome. Hi there. So I'm Akash. I've been your host and instructor for the past 6 weeks, and now we've finally reached the end of Deep Learning with PyTorch, Zero to GANs. As you probably all know by now, this is a free certification course that we have been organizing. So Jovian.ml in collaboration with FreeCodeCamp. This was a 6-week course, and we started on the 23rd of May. And we've had lectures every Saturday for 2 hours. And we're done with all the lectures. And today, this is the course graduation event. So thanks a lot for joining us. We originally wanted to have this call, have this over a Zoom call, but we had so many people working so hard and completing all the requirements for the course that we decided to switch to YouTube Live instead so that we could reach all of you easily. So this is briefly the agenda for today. We'll start with just a few statistics about the course, and then we will talk about some interesting projects and blog posts from the course. We will also go over some stories from the winners. So today is all about you, all about the participants of the course, and we have some very exciting stories from the Kaggle competition, from the projects, and from the community. So that is where we focus most of our attention. And then we will also hear from Bu from FreeCodeCamp. And finally, we have a couple of interesting announcements for you. So before we get started, I just wanted to announce we are planning a new certification course on data analysis with Python. So a lot of you during the course reached out to us and mentioned that you are also looking for help with the basics of Python and then the basics of data analysis and data science, things like NumPy, pandas, visualization. So this is where we are now putting together a course for that. This course will be starting sometime in the end of July, maybe early August. What you can do is you can go and sign up right now. If you go to jovian.ml/learn, you will be able to sign up for the course here. And as soon as it's ready, we will inform you. And this course, we will have instruction in both English and Hindi because we have a lot of viewers in India. So there was a lot of interest in Hindi as well. So these will be separate lectures on the same day. And you can choose whichever you want to attend. So just a quick overview or a recap of the course that we have just completed. This was a coding first introduction to deep learning using PyTorch. PyTorch is a deep learning library, and we have been using it from the start, building the concept slowly, step by step, starting from the very basics, tensors, gradients, building up all the way up to neural networks, convolutional neural networks, data augmentation, regularization, and finally ended with generative adversarial networks, right? So we've had 6 lectures, as I said, and we've done all of this using cloud-based Jupyter notebooks. So you will have access to all the lectures and you will have access to all the material of the course for free forever. So you can always go back and revise the concepts. And you will also have access to the assignments to practice the concepts. So those of you who have completed the entire series of assignments will also receive a certificate. So this is what the certificate looks like. So this is a certificate of accomplishment. It will include your name, it will include the name of the course, and it will include the duration of the course, and it will be signed by me, your course instructor, and Bu Kans from FreeCodeCamp. Now, we are still getting a few submissions in for the course project. So since a lot of you requested, we decided to extend the deadline slightly for the course project so that you could turn in your blog posts. So we wanted to give you time till this weekend. So we're still doing the evaluations, and if you have completed all the assignments on time and have turned everything in, received the pass grade for each one, then you will be receiving the certificate. And if not, you still have access to all the materials and you can continue to learn from them and probably join us for a future edition of the course. Okay. So the certificates will be sent out early next week once all the assignments are turned in and evaluated. Okay, so here are some statistics from the course. So I'll show you some numbers and maybe you can try and guess what these numbers represent. So 300,000. This was, any guess what this is? So this is the number of YouTube video views that the course videos have received so far. And this is all just in 6 weeks. And it is pretty exciting because, well, it's basically hundreds of thousands of views of somebody just presenting code on the screen and reading it out loud, and a lot of people watching it. It might seem weird, but then on the other hand, it was again a really exciting thing to do. And I hope we learned a lot in the process. Okay, 100,000. And this was a surprising number even for me. So 100,000 notebook versions were created. So this is the number of times that you ran jovian.commit somewhere during while learning the course material or while doing an assignment or at some other point. And that goes to show that together as a community, we have performed 100,000 experiments. Each of these means that we've worked with a different data set or a different kind of a model or a different hyperparameter or a different data augmentation technique. So together we've done 100,000 experiments, and that really is the essence of data science and machine learning. You have the more experiments you do, the better you get. 60,000. This is the number of views on the forum posts. So the forum has been extremely active over the past 6 weeks. A lot of you have been answering each other's questions. So thanks a lot for helping each other out. Then 20,000. This is the number of notebooks that were created. So you can do the math. You have approximately 5 versions created per notebook. So that's very good. So yeah, then we have 10,000. Any guess what this could be? This is the number of assignment submissions, and it is huge. And all of these assignments, each of these assignment or Kaggle or course project submissions, each of these we have been evaluating by hand, essentially, because the problems are unique and slightly open-ended. And that is why it has been taking a little bit of time, but this is really exciting to see that many assignment submissions. Okay, 5,000. This was the number of people who had originally registered for the course. So when we got started, and over the next couple of weeks, this is the number of people who signed up and maybe signed up, filled in the form, came to the forum, interacted with other people on the course. 2,000. This is the number of forum posts that were created. So 2,000 questions were asked or answered on the forum. And that was viewed, and obviously that was viewed about 60,000 times. So each question that you ask has actually helped maybe around 30 people. So thank you for asking the questions and answering them. Finally, 1,000. 1,000 is the number of blog posts that we have. So, and that's pretty incredible because a blog post takes a lot of effort. You have to write a lot of explanation. You have to make sure that it is presentable. You have to make sure the grammar is good, make sure the images are good. So a lot of you have put in a lot of effort into these blog posts. And to put it in another way, if you try to read one blog post per day, it will take you 3 full years to read all the blog posts that have been created as a part of this course. So thanks a lot for doing this. And finally, 750. This is the magic number. This is the number of people who have graduated, and so far the number could go higher as we continue doing evaluations, but we have close to 750 people who have graduated and will receive a certificate of completion. So that gives us a completion rate of about 15%, which is pretty high for an online course, especially an online course with such a large number of participants. And this is possible, once again, only because of the community being helpful for each other. Finally, 150. This is the number of countries from where people have joined us during the last 6 weeks. And 10. Well, this is the size of the course team. So I just want to say a big thank you from the course team. This is the team. This is all of us on the Jovian.ml side. So we have Siddhant. Siddhant is the CTO, my co-founder and CTO of Jovian.ml. So he's been keeping the platform up and making sure that all the new features that we have been introducing, or all the issues that we've been fixing, they go out live on time. Then we have Vishal. So Vishal leads community and growth at Jovian. So all the emails that you've been receiving, a lot of you have reached out to us and mentioned that the emails and the nudges really helped you move forward and make sure that you were submitting things on time. So that was all from Vishal, even though it had my name on it. So a big thank you to Vishal as well. Prajwal has been present on the forums, has been helping you out, answering your questions. So helping prepare the material for the course. So yeah, thanks to Prajwal as well. Then Sonaksh and Ashish are developers. So they have been working with Siddhant, and they have been making sure that all the features or the platform is stable, it is scaling well, it is handling the traffic well, and all the features that we wanted to ship and the new features that we wanted to add for you are getting added on time. Deeptish is our designer. So Deeptish has created the UI that you have been using, the Jovian.ml user interface. So Deep is working on the backend as a developer. So also supporting Siddhant, Sonaksh, and Ashish, making sure the platform scales and stays stable. Then we have Nilesh and Snehit, who have been working with us as interns and community ambassadors. So they have been communicating with you as well, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. So Sam, thanks a lot. And finally, there's me. You've already met me. So that's the team, and a big thank you from all of us. But now let's talk a little bit about the work that you have done. As I mentioned, we have seen over 1,000 blog posts and projects created, and these are all out in the public domain. So you have created them and you have shared them with the community. And we wanted to pick a few, maybe 5 or 10, and talk about them. But then we realized it would not be fair because we have hundreds of great projects and on a huge variety of topics. So this is just astounding to see that we have covered so many different kinds of topics. You can see this is like a word cloud created just from the titles of the project. So you can see it's talked. Obviously, classification was one of the things that we talked about in a lot of detail. So a lot of projects are around classification. But if you see the topics, you have X-rays, you have cancer prediction, you have dogs and cats, you have Pokemons, you have generating, we have a bunch of GANs, we have a bunch of text-based models, we have a bunch of things in working with. So there's a flower prediction, a flower species prediction model, there is a weather analysis model, there is a stock price prediction model. So a lot of variety in the different course projects that have been submitted. So what we're doing so that you have access to all of these projects and you can keep reading them for the next 3 years is we have set up a Medium publication. So those of you who have created a blog would have received an invite for the Medium publication. So just go to medium.com/jovianml and there you will be able to access this. So let me just show you. Yeah, so just go to jovian.ml medium.com/jovianml and you will find, and we'll also send you a link afterwards. So you will find here all the posts that we're still reviewing and adding the post, making sure that everything is in order in each post. So you can see there is a project on generating art with GANs. There is a project on predicting bank loyalty using neural networks, generating Rick and Morty stickers, classifying flowers, semantic segmentation, some medical applications, audio. Then we have weather classification, bird species classification, sketch classification. So a whole variety of projects. And what we will be doing is we will be adding, so we have about close to 50 projects added here right now. We will try and include as many as possible. And if you are completing something right now, just tweet at us or send us an email and we will make sure to include your project here as well. We want to give you the most visibility. And what we will do for the next many days is just try to share 1 or 2 interesting projects every day on all our social media channels to make sure that you get some visibility as well. And we would love to get more contributions from you in the future too. So yeah, please do check this out. Okay, so moving right ahead now, we wanted to present some stories from the community. Since you have been interacting with each other on the forum, you've been helping each other out. So we just wanted to put some faces to the names and hear about where people are from. So we've reached out to some of you, and we're very glad that some of you have replied and shared your stories. So here are some stories from the community. So first we have Valentine. Sorry, let me just figure out the sound here.
Hi everyone, my name is Valentine, and folks from forum can remember me as Evelyn6613. I started this course knowing TensorFlow and Keras, but struggling with PyTorch. And thanks a lot. This course actually helped me a lot. For my course project, I choose the problem that always was relevant to me and I am passionate about, namely ecology. I picked up the data set that contained emissions of sulfur dioxide. Also, this introduced another problem which I had not that much experience with, namely time series prediction. Of course, for starters, I tried some really basic models, just feed-forward network. Of course, those failed terribly. But usually for time series forecasting, people are using LSTM and convolutional networks. And that's actually what worked much more better. For my final model, I picked up LSTM. And once again, it worked much more better. Well, I want to thank Akash and Joanne ML team, and of course, FreeCodeCamp. I get a lot of more experience, exposure, and as well some practice with PyTorch. Once again, thank you so much. See you.
Right. Thanks, Valentine, for sharing your story. Then we have Arun.
Hello everyone, my name is Arun. I'm working as a manager analytics. So I have close to 10 years in the field of experience in the field of analytics. But data science is still new to me. So I came across this course, Zero to GANs. I attended the first lecture with no expectations, but at the end of it, I realized that this course is going to give me a great way to get started this whole machine learning and deep learning area of expertise, and it really did. I attended all these 6 live lectures, and submitted all the assignments and did the cross project and things like that. It was really helpful. The way Akash and team had designed this course is excellent. I've attended several standard courses in Udemy, Coursera, but nothing like this one, which was like way engaging, and it was it is kind of motivating at every step, right? Unlike other courses where you have to drive your own self motivation, but this course in itself was motivating to learn, and I would really like to thank Akash and team for this. And with respect to the course project, I chose to do a image classification. In that, I wanted to create my own data set. So I scaled the Google images, had the downloaded the images and did a lot of transformation on the images, cleaned up, and made it a good data set. So that was the challenging part of my assignment. After that, the classification was a typical standard problem that we got it. So it was a pretty great journey, I would say, and looking forward to other courses from Jovian and Akash. Thanks a lot, team. Thank you.
Thanks, Arun. So we will be adding Arun's blog to the publication as well, and we'll share it. It was a very interesting blog which downloaded a data set from Google Images. Next up, we have Ekaterina.
Hello guys, my name is Ekaterina. I'm from Russia and I work as a data scientist. I want to thank you all for this great course. This course helped me a lot to get a better understanding of different deep learning techniques. I was very satisfied at the end of this course because I was able to code my own models easily using PyTorch, and I think this is a really amazing and exciting experience. I'll definitely use some tips and tricks in my job and especially in my funny pet projects. What should I do next? I think GANs is one of the most exciting and interesting idea in deep learning, and I just want to go into it deeper. This is all from my side. Thank you all again for this 6 weeks adventure, and good luck. Bye.
Next up, we have Tiago.
Hi, Jovian team. Hi to the rest of the participants. I'm Tiago. I'm from Portugal, and I'm a chemical engineer. And the first time I contacted with machine learning was when I was doing my master dissertation. I had to implement it with Python. And I found the topic very much interesting. So now that I have a little bit more of extra time, I decided to put it to good use and learn a little bit more. And I'm glad that I found out about your course, Jovian's course. It has been really helpful, and I'm glad that I took it. From now on, I think I will keep learning a little bit more, writing about it, creating some more blogs, adding that to my curriculum, and we'll see. I'm glad that I joined. Thanks.
Thanks, Tiago. Next, we have Bilginur.
Hello, Jovian ML community and FreeCodeCamp.org. FreeCodeCamp.org. I am Bilgenur. I am a postdoctoral researcher, a molecular biologist by training, and I currently live and work in Canada. And I have been using machine learning tools. I've been taking machine learning classes from Udemy, a few of them, and I've been trying to implement them in my research. I recently, a paper I submitted actually has some density-based clustering, some unsupervised learning to it. But I had no understanding or no background on PyTorch or using machine learning for, classification, logical regression, these kind of problems. So that was really attractive, appealing to me when I saw this class, just randomly on LinkedIn, actually. And I decided to give it a shot. And I'm really glad I did that. It was a great decision because I think for me, the most important part of this class has been the community itself, being able to ask questions, getting feedback immediately. It was really like a friendly community, and it still is. I really enjoyed that process. It made it really fun. And I am still not very good at, say, building very good models. I'm still working on, my understanding of the theory, the background, but I think the class provides a lot of tutorials and links to, these resources about the theory itself. So I'll keep digging, and I'll keep actually using those resources. And I have played with a few data sets from Kaggle or from some other repositories like UCI. So I'll continue playing with them, and I'll continue to be part of this community. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Bilginur. So Bilginur has a great blog post on tackling the climate change crisis using machine learning. So this is for prediction of the water temperature using 60 years of oceanographic data. So do check that out as well. Next up, we have Dexter.
Hi guys, my name is Dexter De Silva. I'm 55 years old. I was born in Madras but live in the UK. I have an aero engineering background and work for Racing Point Formula One team. I love the concepts used in machine learning, and I'm always looking to expand my knowledge in this field with the intention of applying some of it to my daily activities. I was following Akash on Twitter and came across Jovian. I always wanted to do a complete end-to-end online course, so I dived into the 0 to GANs because I felt it was something I could do after office hours. I liked the structure of the course, and the assignments helped me learn a lot about PyTorch and Python. The wide scope of the final project in selecting any data set forced me to take some time to think about what was realistically achievable, useful, and something that would expand my understanding of machine learning. My first Kaggle competition, wow, that was a hard. It was much harder than expected. Initially, I had a high placing, which made me complacent. Subsequently, I found it very challenging to decide between model architecture, hyperparameters, and something that was fast. I found the forum very helpful and the encouragement and starter notebooks, again, extremely useful. I will go through the course notebooks again and reattempt the protein classification task with my newfound patience. Patience, that's what I need. I am looking forward to the next Jovian course and will continue my machine learning journey along with my new bunch of friends, which is all you guys. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, Dexter, and all the best with the Kaggle competition. It was nice to see you at the top at the beginning. Next up, we have Pragati.
Hello everyone, I'm Pragati and right now I'm pursuing my master's from Polytechnic University of Milan. Basically at first I was reluctant to join this course because I was having my exams the whole June. But then as I proceeded ahead with the course content, I just felt in love with Akash's approach and realized this is something I really wanted to do. So I managed to spare 1 hour daily for this course. So yeah, for the competition, I managed to achieve 15th rank in the private leaderboard. I know this isn't that great, but I managed to achieve this rank just after my 4th submission. In the interest of time I had an extremely good course content, I was able to cherry pick the good models for the data set and ended up with a decent accuracy. Prior to attending this course, I was not comfortable, like really not comfortable with coding competition and thought you really need extraordinary skills to ace the Kaggle competition. But this course made sure that I was wrong. If you have good enough approach and sufficient understanding of the topics, you can do it wonderfully. Thanks Akash and whole team of Jovian for this wonderful course and helping me with my first baby steps in this field of deep learning. Looking forward to more such courses. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pragati. 15 is not a bad rank at all. So congrats on the great work on the Kaggle competition. Also, I think it's very interesting that I think it's good advice that if you want to learn something, whatever it is, if you can just try to set aside 1 week per day and continue doing that for weeks on end, then you can still learn the topic, right? So it's about patience and persistence. So we have a few more videos to share with you, but before we do that, I just want to give a shout out to the MVPs on the forum, the people who have been reading the posts and replying to everyone and helping each other out. In fact, a lot of you have actually spent more time on the forum than even me and Prajwal, and it was our job to reply to all the as many of the posts as possible. But a lot of time I would just come to the forum and find that most of the questions are already answered. So thank you very much. Especially I just want to call out One World Coder, Nachiket, Deep Malia, Vasavi and Adav. And everyone else, I know there are a few names missing here as well. A lot of people have replied to a lot of questions. So what we will be doing is we will, well, for everybody who has spoken, and thank you very much. And for everybody who has been helping us out on the forums, we have some interesting things that we will try and send your way as soon as we can figure out how. So let me see if, yeah, I hope you can see me. So we have Jovian t-shirts here. Here it says Jovian Data Science and it has a Jovian logo on the side. Then we have some stickers. So we have it's an Jovian Data Science sticker. Then we have another one. This one says this machine is learning. It's for your laptop. We have one that says data is greater than opinions. And yeah, and then we have Jovian, the Jovian logo stickers as well. So we will be sending, we'll try and figure out how to send this to you because you're all over the world, but we will make sure soon you receive all of these things. So thanks a lot. Okay. So do check out the Medium publication and please do stay active on the forums as well. Next up, we have some stories from the competition. So the Kaggle competition, I think a lot of you spent a lot of time. We have seen that we've seen 30, 40, 50 submissions. And I know for each submission, you have to train the model for at least a few hours. So that's a lot of time spent. So we wanted to get some stories from some of the Kaggle competition toppers as well. So here are the winners of the competition. So Mimi Cheng, congrats. She's ended up at the very top. Then we have Mate, we have Ronaldo, we have Joseph, Christian, Remy, Ranjan, Mehul, Nachiket, and Aniruddha. So, and then the next 20 as well. So if you, by the way, a lot of you, for even for people in the top 20, for a lot of people, this was their first data science competition ever. So for that, the amount of effort that was put in and the kind of results that you got are really pretty amazing. And I hope that you continue to take this learning and then keep applying it to newer competitions that keep coming up. Kaggle always has a few active competitions going on. So without further ado, let us listen to some of the winners. So here we have Mimi.
Hello everyone, my name is Mimi. Thanks for having me. I work as a data scientist in Thailand for 3 years, but this will be my last month of working. I'm going to study a master's degree in machine learning at the universities of Montreal this fall. My approach in this competition is I try different types of models at first. I try ResNet, DenseNet, and EfficientNet, and EfficientNet perform better. I try different sets of training and validations, and I tried Adam and Adam W optimizer. Adam W optimizers perform better than Adam's, and it saved me a lot of training times. Also, I use one cyclic learning rate to compare with cosine annealing warm restart. Cosine annealing warm restarts converge very fast, but eventually I use one cyclic to train for my last submissions. Cosine annealing warm restarts is useful when you are compare the models or compare different combinations of the hyperparameters. Finally, I modify the class to the probabilities and use them to do ensembles. What I learned from this course is PyTorch. I used TensorFlow and Keras before, but I never learned PyTorch. And I found out that the PyTorch document is very informative, and PyTorch allow me to work more flexible. As I think PyTorch is very useful for doing research. What did the course help me? The course helped me in machine learning tricks. Some machine learning tricks I have never known before starting this course. And I think knowing both languages is good for a researcher because sometimes state-of-the-art can written in both TensorFlow and PyTorch. Thanks for having me. I learned a lot from this course. Thanks for the instructors and TA, and thanks for the other participants who make these competitions very fun.
Thank you, Mimi, and all the best for your masters. So we have a few more Kaggle. We have the next few Kaggle winners as well. We'll hear from them too. But we have right now we have Buchans from FreeCodeCamp joining us live. So I'll just hand it over to him just to talk a little bit about the course and how things went, and then we will come back to the Kaggle competition winners right after this.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, like you said, my name is Bo Carnes. I'm with FreeCodeCamp.org, and I just want to congratulate everybody that has been able to complete this course. I know there's a lot of useful skills that you've learned with PyTorch and machine learning, and I think it's going to be useful for everybody for a lot of things, including maybe even helping you get a new job. I just want to encourage everybody to keep learning. Because once you kind of learn a lot of really good foundations of PyTorch and machine learning, but just don't stop now. Keep learning in this journey, I know that Jovian ML offers some other learning opportunities. And then also on the FreeCodeCamp.org YouTube channel, we have some other machine learning courses that would be a great next step after this course. Also on FreeCodeCamp.org, we have an interactive curriculum, and we just released a machine learning certification, and we haven't even announced it yet. So, but it's on there. Also, what I would also recommend everybody, besides just continuing to learn, I recommend everyone just try to find a way to teach others what you've been learning. I think no matter what stage of your learning journey you are, it can be really beneficial to find a way to teach people. There's always people that are more beginner than you, and you can find a way to teach people. I know for me, that's helped me learn a lot and like solidify my understanding of skills. Like you can write a blog post, you can create a YouTube channel, create your own YouTube videos, kind of so you can teach other people what you've been learning about PyTorch. And anything you can do, even the smallest thing like a blog post, or maybe even just sharing with friends about what you're learning, I think can really solidify your understanding of things, and you can start helping other people, because there's so many people out in the world. There's going to be some people out there that learn best from your specific teaching style. No matter how good of a teacher you think you are, there's going to be someone somewhere out there that has a mindset that thinks just like you, that can learn with how you present it, and then that will just help you also understand the skills better. So again, I just want to congratulate everybody again, because I know I know a lot of people put in a lot of work with the videos, with the projects, with the forum. It's a great accomplishment, and you guys should all be really proud of yourselves. So I hope you just continue to do well and continue your learning journey. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Bo. Thanks a lot for joining us. And yeah, I completely agree with you on that, the best way to learn is by teaching. And I just want to add that you do not have to wait till you know every advanced concept. You can start teaching even the most basic concepts. And as Bo said, somebody is going to learn from you. So please do that. And also please go check out the machine learning certification on FreeCodeCamp. It's a much longer process there, but you'll definitely get to learn a lot more, and you'll get to exercise your skills much better. Okay, so let's move ahead.
Hello, everyone.
So next up, we have Mate. So let's hear from Mate.
Hi, my name is Mate, and I am a 19 years old student from Hungary, and I just graduated from high school. I came second in the in-class competition, and my approach during the competition was transfer learning with the one-cycle policy. And I got my best results using the ResNet 34 and ResNet 50 architectures. The training of these models took a very long time, sometimes over 4 hours, because I did not reduce the size of the images in order to achieve a higher accuracy. To further increase my score, I also wrote a C++ script that could combine my best submissions and create a new submission file. This is a technique called ensemble, and it worked really well for me. I learned a lot during the competition. This was the first time that I had tried using the ensemble technique, and this was also the first time that I had tried solving a multi-label classification problem. In the future, I would like to work as a data scientist or an AI engineer, and
Oops, I'm sorry.
Hi, that could combine my try solving a multi-label classification problem. In the future, I would like to work as a data scientist or an AI engineer, and I feel like participating in this course was a huge step for me in the right direction, So thank you for everything, and bye.
Thanks a lot, Mate. And Marty finished second in the data science competition, and he just talked about his techniques. And as he mentioned, he's still in high school or just graduating. So, high school, as we said at the beginning of the course, that basic high school math and a little bit of programming knowledge is good enough for you to get started in the in your data science and machine learning journey. So do not let it stop you if you do not have a degree in the field, to just start exploring at the very least. Next up, we have Ronaldo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ronaldo. I am from São Paulo, Brazil. I work in a telecom regulations agency. There I do just a little bit of data analysis, but not any machine learning. I've studied a bunch of technical stuff in the past, but unfortunately never got to do much with it. So I've discovered machine learning in Kaggle. So in Kaggle is where I scratch my machine learning itch. And as many of you who discovered Kaggle now, you'll see that it's very addictive and it's fun. So my biggest takeaway from the course is it forced me to write some pure PyTorch code, and being a beginner-friendly environment, it pushed me to try to teach someone. And my biggest takeaway is that no matter where your level is, you can always teach something to someone. So that was very pleasurable and fun. So thank you, Akash. Thank you, all your fellow classmates. I actually studied here in Brazil with a fellow class from the course, Matheus Cafalquio. So we got talking again, sharing some tips. Well, it was fun to reconnect with a friend. So I see you around in the course. Shortly I will share my code to get to the third place in the competitions. And I see you in the forums. Bye.
Thank you, Ronaldo. And thank you for sharing everything that you've shared in the forums as well. Next, we have Josep.
Hello, everyone. My name is Josep Ayats. I'm from Barcelona, Spain, and I'm a mechanical engineer. And right now I'm doing a career change into data science and AI. So for the Kaggle competition, my approach was to improve over the advanced notebook. I tried to Google every step in order to find what it did, and try to improve over that. So I eventually found out a better optimizer, which is called Ranger. Ranger is an improvement over Adam. It gave very good results, but in order to improve the outcome, I decided to fit as much data as possible into the network. So I downsized the images, and I also used a smaller architecture, which is ResNet 18. And this put me in the top 10, which was pretty unexpected, but very grateful for that. So in the competition, what I learned is really to share everything. To all the knowledge that you get, you have to give it back. So that's how people grow. That's the purpose of the competition. In this course, I learned from zero to AI. I wouldn't have expected to learn so much in so little time. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm now capable of doing some projects which I wouldn't have thought of before. So thanks to the instructor Akash, thanks to the Jovian staff, also thanks and kudos to the community, and FreeCodeCamp.org.
Thank you, Josep. I guess the biggest takeaway from me here is that ResNet 18, one of the smaller models, is able to get you into the top 10 for competition, especially with such large images and such a large number of images as well. So I guess it's always a good idea to start experimenting with smaller models, try different hyperparameters so that you can do more experiments. And the more you experiment, the better you get. Next up, we can let's hear from Remy.
Hi everyone, my name is Remy Debet. I've been invited by Akash and the Jovian.ml team to share my experience on the PyTorch 0 to GAN lecture, which I attended. I am working in IT. I'm the tech lead of AXA IB Partners, a startup owned by the AXA French insurance group. Before that, 5 years ago, I was a master student doing some research in the Ito Research Laboratory in Japan, which was working on the quantum computing. But since then, and since I've started working in IT, I've been really interested in machine learning, which shares a lot of aspects with research. I attended the MOOC Learning from Data by Caltech, which was more theory-oriented, learning overfitting and the bias variance trade-off. This time, this course I found was really more hands-on, had very good starting code provided by Akash, which allowed us to start working and testing lots of models, lots of interesting concepts. And on the Kaggle competition itself, the multi-label human protein problem, it's been very interesting to work and to have this insight and this code foundation from Akash. In the beginning, I did not get very good results. I tried to put very complex models, ResNet 34, ResNet 50, DenseNet, and so on, and I didn't get good results. So then I focused more on the most simple ResNet 18 pre-trained model. But I found some very interesting discussions by the attendees and on other competitions about focal loss, which I tried to implement since it was quite a few lines of code. And also big thanks to Rodaldo Batista, who shared the cross-validation technique. It was really nice to implement it. It gave me a bit of edge in the end of the competition. On the last day, I was first for a few hours. All in all, it has been very good to see this competition on Kaggle, which allowed to challenge ourselves, but also big cooperations of people sharing code and sharing insights. So I hope this will give me a good start to continue working on machine learning problems. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Remy. Yeah, focal loss was a nice touch that definitely boosts the performance. And this is what we learned, that like you're now hearing from the toppers of the competition, that it's all about trying more experiments, tuning your hyperparameters right, trying different architectures, trying different loss functions, learning from each other. We have one more that we'll go over right now. So we have Ranjan joining us. And we have a few more, so we will show them at the end, because we got a lot of replies for the Kaggle competition. So we'll show a few more videos to you at the end, but we have one more right now from Ranjan.
Hello everyone, I'm Ranjan Shrestha from Kathmandu, Nepal. I currently work as a lecturer in an engineering institution. I used to work as a researcher at Fraunhofer Focus Berlin and the Technical University of Berlin, where I completed my master's degree in computer science. I'm glad to inform you that I'm placed 7th position in private leaderboard. Regarding my approach, I followed the notebook from Akash, where I modified several hyperparameters such as batch size, the number of layers in the fully connected network, and the number of epochs, just to mention few of them. I used pre-trained ResNet 34. And I also included the regularization techniques such as batch normalization and dropout, so as to minimize the effect of overfitting. Also, the important part was to use the image augmentation that really helped to boost the performance of the model. The key learning from this competition was to keep on trying on different approaches and also to note down the important changes that helps to boost the performance of the model, and also to learn from the other participants via the forum posts or blogs. And you have to have enough time to keep on trying and don't lose hope. And also, I would like to thank Akash and entire Joven family for this amazing course and systematic way of organizing 6 weeks of program. The complexity slowly increased from week 1 to week 6. That was really helping the participants to gain knowledge in deep learning. And also encouragement to write blogs and to post on forums really help to understand and deepen knowledge in deep learning. So finally, I would like to congratulate Akash, entire Joven family, and all the participants for the successful completion of this course. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjan. I think Ranjan made a great point that you have to keep your experiments organized. So every time you train a model, especially since you've put hours of work into it, always make sure to record the hyperparameters and metrics that you get out of it and maybe some notes about it. You can use a spreadsheet, you can put it on a piece of paper, or you can use Jovian. Jovian has built-in methods like log hyperparameters and log metrics, which automatically gives you a table for analysis. Whatever it is, try to keep your work organized and you will see that you are able to gather insights and make your models better over time more easily. Okay. So we've already heard from Bo from FreeCodeCamp, but so I have a few closing thoughts, and after this we will just stream a few more of the Kaggle competitor videos so that you can get a sense of what people have tried. But as we come to the end of this course, I want to leave you with 3 ideas. So the first is a paradigm shift, right? A very fundamental change in how we build software. This is a picture that we looked at in the first lecture, that the top half shows classical programming and the bottom half shows machine learning. And this came back to me when I was showing some of the projects from the course to a friend. And she asked me, so I was showing a GANs project where faces were being generated using GANs. And then she asked me, how is this model made? How is this project made? And then she tried to guess. She said, okay, maybe you are asking your program to put in eyes at the top and hair at the top and maybe show a face and maybe show some hair and maybe show some expressions. Is that how you're doing it? And that's a natural way to think about it, that this is how classical programming works, that you write a bunch of rules and you get and you put in some inputs into it and you get some answers out of it. But machine learning, and when I told her, no, it's actually not the case. It's quite the opposite. We just set up a model and put in a whole bunch of faces, and out came new faces, that it learned automatically how to draw a human face. And not just that, this very same approach was used to create a whole variety of different projects, right? And you can look at these projects and you can see how different they are on all the different dimensions that they try to cover, the different domains they cover. But on the other hand, if you look at the code, you will find that 80-85% of the code is pretty much the same, right? Of course, you have to put in a lot of work for optimization, but the process is the same. And this is a huge fundamental shift in how software is built, right? So I think that's one big idea that is really going to transform how software is going to be built in the near future. Next, the next big idea is the opportunity that this gives you. So because we have this new paradigm, it opens up a whole wide world of opportunities on what you can create with this. And for this, I just want to show you another video. I think the people in this video are going to put it much better than I can ever do.
Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft are all moving ahead at a great speed in improving this artificial intelligence software. So it's very exciting. Software is going to solve that, where it'll look at all the new information and present to you, knowing about your interests, what would be most valuable. So making us more efficient.
We're focusing on what we've talked about on autonomous systems. And we sort of see it as the mother of all AI projects. So autonomy is something that's incredibly exciting for us. We'll see where it takes us.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if someday we got to the point where there were robots every place, they were running farms, they were running Apple, they were running Berkshire Hathaway, and all you had to do was one person could punch a button at the start of every morning, and all the goods and services that we're getting now would be turned out by robots.
It is seeping into our lives in all sorts of ways that we just don't notice. We're just getting better and better at it, and we're seeing that happen in every aspect of our lives, from medicine to transportation to how electricity is distributed. And it promises to create a vastly more productive and efficient economy. And if properly harnessed, can generate enormous prosperity for people, opportunity for people, can cure diseases that we haven't seen before, can make us safer because it eliminates inherent human error in a lot of work.
Artificial intelligence is going to be extremely helpful, and the risk that it gets super smart, that's way out in the future and probably worth talking about. But now what we're seeing is that for the first time, computers can see as well as humans. That's pretty incredible.
NHTSA did a study on Tesla's Autopilot version 1, which is relatively primitive, and found that it was a 45% reduction in highway accidents. And that's despite Autopilot 1 being just version 1. Version 2, I think, will be at least 2 or 3 times better. That's the current version that's running right now. So the rate of improvement is really dramatic. We have to figure out some way to ensure that the advent of digital superintelligence is one which is symbiotic with humanity.
AI is probably the most important thing humanity has ever worked on. Now, I think of it as something more profound than electricity or fire. And anytime you work with technology, you need to learn to harness the benefits and while minimizing the downsides. Stepping back, when you think about a lot of problems in the world today, it's because we typically have a constraint on resources. AI, for the first time, I think over time, offers a different construct. Things which are constrained and look like a zero-sum game today may not be so in the future. Take education, for example. It's really difficult to educate people in a cost-effective way. AI may fundamentally change that equation. It may make it possible for us to have clean, cheap, renewable energy for the future. So I think a lot of things will play out in more positive ways than people think.
I think probably by end of next year, self-driving will encompass essentially all modes of driving and be at least 100 to 200% safer than a person by the end of next year. I'm talking maybe 18 months from now.
So as you watch this video, I hope that you've been listening. So you're listening to technology leaders talking, and then just gears start going off in your brain. Oh, this is how we can do this. This is how AI can solve medicine. This is how AI can solve self-driving. This is how it can solve education and all these things, right? So that is where the incredible opportunity lies. And in fact, Microsoft predicts that just in the next 5 years, there are going to be 20 million new jobs created in data science and machine learning. And that's 10 times the number of jobs that are there in the field right now. So this is going to be the fastest growing field for the next 5 years. So it's great that you are interested in it, that you are passionate about it, and that you're learning. So please continue learning. Because it is us, like we are the 20 million people who have to fill these gaps. And that brings me to the third big idea, which is that how do you exactly learn these things? Because not a lot of universities are offering this, and all of this is very new information. All of this, the things that we've covered in this course just a couple of years ago, was state of the art, right? So it's a very exciting time, and the way you learn in a ecosystem like this is via the community. So the community is the most important part. So what, and that is what we keep saying over and over, that everything that you learn, try to share it with other people. Find like-minded people who are interested in this. Try starting a meetup, try starting an online group, try starting a study group, try creating YouTube videos, whatever it is, just whatever you're learning, give back and try to grow the community. That will help you grow as well. And there are a lot of great platforms where you can become part of a community. So there is FreeCodeCamp, of course. So there are learning resources there. There is a worldwide community there. There is the Jovian.ml forum. So we are doing a lot of new activities that we have planned for the forum, so that even while we do not have a course going on, you have a lot of things to just interact on with the community on. And so things like, just to give you a brief idea, we're starting up things like just doing a resume review, doing paper discussions, doing blog post reviews, doing study groups for other courses that are out there. So we have a lot of things planned for you, and we hope we can support you in your journey. There's Kaggle, where you can participate in competitions. There are also other communities like This Week in ML, Analytics Vidya, Open Data Science, Faster AI. But all these communities, everything that exists right now is just a drop in the bucket compared to what is going to come in the future. And so, and that really depends on you, right? You are at the center of all of this. So thanks a lot for taking the first step into data science, into machine learning. And please try to spread the word, please try to grow the community, please try to be part of the community, and be supportive. This is a young community, so we have a chance to build a community which is accepting, which is diverse, where age is no bar, where we do not discriminate on the basis of sex or gender or race or nationality or anything like that. So keep that in mind and keep supporting one another. I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, so I just wanted to leave you with that, and just a quick, just to tell you a little more about Jovian. You can continue to use the platform for sharing and collaborating on data science projects. Our goal, our mission when we started Jovian was to make it easy. Was that everything should be obvious and easy to use. If you want to do machine learning, you should not have to go read few manuals and install a bunch of software and figure out how things work. You can just click a button and start playing along with Jupyter notebooks. And there is a whole ecosystem of tools available online, like Kaggle, Colab, Binder, that we wanted to make available to you. So please continue to use Jovian, and please share feedback. We are always looking to make improvements. Also, a big thank you once again to FreeCodeCamp. If you haven't already, you should go to FreeCodeCamp. There are a lot of great projects, a lot of great tutorials, and there's a proper learning path there now, including machine learning, and a huge worldwide community. So we have been really fortunate, and we're really excited that we've been able to partner with FreeCodeCamp here. And a quick reminder, we do have a new certification course, this is data analysis with Python, going from 0 to pandas. So this is, we do not even assume programming experience here. As I said, if we have to fill the 20 million jobs that come in the next 5 years, and then a lot more ideas for social good and a lot more ideas for startups and other companies, we need great learning resources, especially at the lowest level, and great free learning resources. So that is where this course comes in as well, where you can learn programming with Python and data analysis. So please spread the word. Even if you don't need the course, you definitely probably know somebody who does. So just point them to the course link, invite them. And this course is running in English, and we are going to do a version in Hindi as well in parallel. So I will continue to see you in the forums. This is all we had planned for today. But we do have a little more additional material. So if you would like to stick around and you would like to hear from some more of the competitors on Kaggle, please continue. And especially students who might be a little bit anxious that, hey, is this right for me? Do I even have the skills to get started with data science? We have a few students here as well. So let us look at a few more competition stories. So first up, we have Mehul.
Hello everyone, my name is Mehul Sampath. I'm originally from Mumbai, India. I currently live and work in the San Francisco Bay Area in California. I work at a company called BioClinica, where I'm a biomedical imaging algorithm engineer. Okay. So the organizers asked me to talk about, the lessons learned from the competition, from the course. So here are my few thoughts about it. So for the particular competition, my approach was to use a single model. I used a ResNet 18 model, and I played a lot with image augmentations. I tried different architectures, and I've written a whole discussion thread on the Kaggle forums. So please do check out the details there. Regarding the learning from the competition, this competition was great. I learned a lot from the shared notebooks. So for example, I learned how to apply transfer learning and how to modify models in PyTorch. So that was great. It was a great learning experience. And finally, regarding the course, this course was awesome. Okay. I really want to thank Akash and the entire Jovian team for creating such a great course and such a well formatted, well organized course. My goal was to learn PyTorch, and this course delivered bang on. This was the perfect course to learn PyTorch in a short time of 6 weeks only, and basically get your hands dirty and be very comfortable with PyTorch. So for this, I really want to thank Akash and the entire Jovian team for creating a well-organized, well thought of, a very well organized PyTorch course. Thank you very much, and best of luck to everyone.
Next, we have Anirudh.
Hi everyone. So I'm Anirudh. I'm from Delhi, India, and I'm currently a third year undergrad in BTech in mathematics and computing from IIT Delhi. So first of all, I'd like to thank Akash and his team for the amazing course. I learned quite a lot from this, and also learned quite a lot from the competition itself. So regarding my approach from the competition, it was like I was first starting with the starter notebooks from Akash, and I tried hyperparameter tuning in itself, and I got to 65% accuracy. That was good enough for top 10 at the time. But then I used FastAI, explored FastAI, and using that, I tried out all different transformations on the images. And so using FastAI was like we can experiment quite a lot on the transformations, and that made me pick my transformations. I fixed my transformations using that, and then I switched over to the advanced starter notebook from Akash, and I did quite a lot of hyperparameter tuning, and I tried Resin 34, Resin 50, and even 101. I found out Resin 50 was the sweet spot, and so I did a lot of hyperparameter tuning, and I got to 75%. And one trick I used was to have custom stats derived from the dataset itself. So not using the ImageNet stats, because our images are quite a lot different from the ImageNet photos. That gave me a 3% jump in performance. So I got to 78, 75, 79 here, and I tweaked a lot of hyperparameters then, but that really got to me to 79.5. Another trick I did was to have change the threshold for the prediction. So not using 0.5, but using 0.36 instead. I did this quite a lot of experiments and found 0.36 to be the one working with. And that gave me around 1% more. So I got to 80.5 with perfectly double. Yeah, so that's it regarding the approach. And I have learned quite a lot from this course. So thank you, Akash, for that. So answering the questions on the forums or on the Bangalore study group, that helped me clear my doubts, helped me clear my understanding of the topics. And also using the Kaggle competitions, I learned quite a lot about getting the tiniest amount of performance out of the models, So I read through all the previous posts on the original competition and everything, and made me appreciate like the competitive process. And like it is good to have a change. Like doing this in an academic setup is quite different. So I learned quite a lot in that sense. And once again, thank you, Akash, and kudos to all the graduates.
Thanks, Anirudh. Next, we have Dev.
Hello guys, my name is Dev. I am from Bangalore, India. First of all, I would like to thank Akash sir and the entire team at Jovian.ml for conducting this great course. Now, I am a computer science engineering student at PES University, Bangalore, currently in my 6th semester. I took this course as it promised a coding-first approach to deep learning tasks, something I wasn't very comfortable with, not very good at. Also, this was my first time learning about the PyTorch library. I was placed at rank 14 in the Kaggle competition, which is a great achievement as I believe, as this was my first competition in the field of data science and machine learning. I had no idea about how Kaggle competitions work, so I was a bit nervous at first, but it all eventually worked out. Throughout the competition, I tried various approaches, starting from the starter notebook that was provided by Akash sir, as many of us did, I'm guessing, and making my first submission, which got me a score of about 0.1. I then tried increasing the epochs and peaked with a score of about 0.6 without making any changes. Then, over the next few weeks, I tried messing around with the hyperparameters, only to realize it was very hard to cross a score of over 70 with the starter notebook. This was when Akash sir uploaded the advanced transfer learning notebook, which took me to about a score of 77 on the public leaderboard, which I found very hard to get past. This was about 1 week into the competition, and I was at rank 2, and I was pretty happy with this. So I didn't look at the leaderboard for about the next 3 or 4 days, just not taking it very hard, only to find out that when I did check back, I was at about rank 60. So I got kind of nervous again. So I tried implementing the various notebooks you guys had put on Kaggle and under the discussions tab and notebooks tab, for which I am very thankful to everyone. Yet again, I wasn't able to cross the 77% mark on the micro F1 score, so I kind of gave up. And then with about 3 days left for submission, I kind of went back to the transfer learning notebook. I left all the stratification and everything and went back to the basic notebook and kept trying with different parameters yet again. And I tried different networks other than ResNet this time. And then finally, about 2 hours before submission, I was able to hit a score of about 79.6 on the public leaderboard with GoogleNet, which was the network, with around 70 epochs. This took about 7 hours to train, and the maximum LR I kept was about 0.007 before unfreezing, and then finally 0.005 after unfreezing, with gradient clipping of, I think, about 0.5 and a weight decay ranging from 1e to the -7 to -9. These were the magic parameters for me, which gave me my best score so far. The problem was a 30-hour GPU limit and my network connection not being the best, due to which occasionally I kept losing about a few hours of my work every now and then. My biggest learning, obviously, from this competition is how easy it is to make a basic working model which makes predictions, but how difficult it is to make those predictions much better than everyone else, and how everyone reaches a point beyond which it's very hard to get past. And the course, of course, helped all of us a lot, mostly for making me feel more comfortable while taking a coding approach to these kind of tasks and understanding how deep or machine learning isn't just some magic that we all hear about, but just a sequence of mathematical operations. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Dev. Next, we have Matthias.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mateus. I got 8th in the public and 18th in the private leaderboard, so I overfitted my model. I am originally from Brazil, but I live in Ireland. I did my PhD here in neuroscience, and I work as postdoc in neuroscience as well, studying neural networks inside the brain. I'd like to thank the organizer and Akash for this course. It was an amazing course. I learned a lot. In my approach to get 18th, I started using different approach, but I finished using FastAI2 by the convenience, because I think for me it was easier to save the model, to load the model to fit in one cycle. So I keep using FastAI2. I experiment with different architectures and finishing use ResNet 50. From there, once I run everything, I use cross-validation with Ronaldo, which is my friend from Brazil, which invited me. Thanks, Ronaldo, for inviting me. Share in the public notebooks. So I use cross-validation from his notebook, and which got me a little bit further. In the end, I'm finishing 8th because I adjust my threshold as well for the public leaderboard. It was not a good idea. For the course itself helped me a lot to lose my fear of PyTorch, and now I'm really want to get deeper on that. So helped me to open my mind. And the competition helped me to learn that. I think I learned most in the competition because then you can practice. In the competition, I learned that the community is our best friend. So I read a lot of notebooks, a lot of code, and a lot of discussion. So that's all. Thank you very much. I'd love to see you again in the next course. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Matthias. So that's all we have for you today. Thanks a lot for joining. We will definitely see you soon on the forums, and we will see you in the next course. Thank you and have a good day or good night.